Hello, everyone, and welcome to the World Blitz Scrabble Championship. Today is Friday, March 26th, 2021. It is 1 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, but it is still 6 p.m. back on the west coast of the U.S., where I'm coming at you. My name is Evans Clinchy. Happy to have you with us for this broadcast. Tonight, we're going to be wrapping up the season for the Chipmunk group here in BlitzChamps Group C, and we have a very, very interesting playoff race unfolding in that group. I want to give a quick recap of where things stand in that group, and then we can get right into it. The schedule tonight's going to be two matches. We're going to have first at 1 a.m. GMT, Jackson Smylie versus Jennifer Clinchy. And then right after that, we're going to have at 2 a.m. GMT, Jessie Day versus Chris Grubb. And here is why those two matches are so significant. A look at the standings in that group shows that three of those players, Jessie, Jackson, and Chris, are all in one fight for one playoff spot. So Janul De Silva earlier today got the win over Dipankar Chatterjee. That makes Janul 8-1. Janul is in. Janul is guaranteed a spot in the playoff bracket of 16 players. However, the second spot is still up for grabs. You look at Jessie, you look at Jackson, you look at Chris. All three of those guys have a very strong record, but only one can advance. And it's going to be a very tight race to see who makes it. Here's the deal. Jackson plays first. If Jackson loses, he's out. If he wins, he's got a shot, but he also needs Jessie to lose. As for Jessie, he needs to just win and he's in. As for Chris Grubb, he needs a win and a loss for Jackson. So a lot of scenarios, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things can change. But right now it's looking like the spot is Jessie's to lose, but Jessie could lose it. We'll see what happens. As for first it's Jackson against Jennifer, and then Jessie against Chris Grubb coming up after that. So I will take a quick look at the Wiggles room, and it looks like... all right, it looks like Jackson and Jennifer are both online and they are ready to begin, and so I will tell them that they may do so. All right, so looking forward to this. Jackson versus Jennifer coming up first, and I'm going to remain impartial. Obviously, this is my spouse competing in her final match of the tournament, but right now it is just my job to be an impartial announcer, and we'll see what happens. It's Jennifer versus Jackson, and Jackson must win this match to stay alive. So let's go to the Wiggles room, and it looks like they are just now ready to begin, so let's go to it. All right. So Jennifer is top of your screen, Kempy, and then underneath that is Squish, Jackson Smylie, Squish. And so this is game one, Jennifer versus Jackson, and we're underway. Looks like Jennifer has a rack that doesn't quite bingo, although it looks close to some stuff. I think Recall It and Solarette, but yeah, no 7. So she just plays long, 14 points for Toller, and we are underway. 14 plus 5 with the challenge from Jackson, so 19 to start, and it's... kind of an imbalanced rack with multiple A's and an F that's kind of clunky. We'll see what Jackson can do with this. You probably look for a word like fado or oaf or something in this position, but not easy to find the best spot for a word like that. Kind of tricky here. All right, he does find a spot for fado for 19, and we got ourselves a tie score. That gives a nice hot spot for the Y. Loy is a valid word, so something like ya is reasonable here. Or, yeah, something like that. So definitely some potential for some high-scoring overlaps here for Jennifer. She's going to take her time and find the best one, it looks like. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys are enjoying your Thursday evening / Friday morning, depending on where you are in the world. Hope you've all been enjoying the BlitzChamps content this week. There is a very exciting match going on right now between Will and Benji on Josh's channel, Extra Typo. Would not begrudge anybody watching that, but... if you guys are enjoying this instead, or if you're watching both, more power to you. Hope you guys are enjoying all the content, whatever you're watching. All right, so Jennifer decides on Tay, T-A-Y, for a good score, 35, and she's also drawn the first blank. Kind of a weird rack with it. I'm not sure what you do with this. You need an N or an S for unkosher, but other than that, I don't know if there's very many bingos available here. You can use the bot to check things out, though. So EHKORU blank makes no 7s at all, and ooh, humoresque, that's a cool word, but that is not playable either. So Jennifer taking her time, as players often do with a blank on their rack. It's not easy to find the best play. She plays EH, making Tate. I'm never sure about whether Tate is good, but I think it is. You can use the bot for that as well. Define Tate. It is a small portion, a pinch. Okay. All right, so toe lanes is the first bingo. The match comes down from Jackson for 64, and it opens a big old triple. You could burn your blank for a play like Klutzy or Klutzes, but probably that's not worth it. You could probably just use your Z to score well otherwise. Not easy to do, though. I'm looking through that T, and I'm looking at like overlaps Like if you had an E, you could play Zek, but you don't want to burn your blank for 40. Oh, that's not even a word, KE. All right, who knows what you have here? This is tough. Not easy to find the best option. But definitely time's going to be a concern here. Jennifer's getting pretty low already. She's got 45 seconds thereabouts left on the clock with still 61 tiles in the bag. That is a lot. So difficult spot here for sure. All right, Core comes down making Tater. 24 points for that, keeping LUZ blank. A very interesting leave. And Jackson playing quite quickly. He plays Dottie for 33, and this is time trouble to be sure, but Quell comes down quickly for Jennifer there. 30 points for that. So pretty close game so far on the scoreboard. 139, 138, 129, but definitely time is a major concern for Jennifer. She's going to have 34 seconds plus the minute overtime with the 10-point penalty. And after that, she loses the game. So definitely got to speed up a little bit. As for Jackson, he's doing pretty well on the clock. Still 141 left. But close game here still. Both players kind of trying to balance their racks and find a bingo prone rack. Neither one has really done much of that yet. And there's a phony 2 on the board I just noticed. QE is not valid. Jackson got away with QE. I think he meant to play edit and he played diet instead, and then QE ended up on the board. All right, Fennec is a nice 6-letter word there from Jackson, and he takes a Smylie, 183, 159, but there we go. Jennifer cashes in her Z for a big score. Zip is 42 and the lead. Still some kind of awkward racks for Jackson, but he can keep scoring. He's got Jibe into that E and Fennec as an option. I'm sure he's got plenty of other choices as well. So definitely not all is lost here for Jackson, only a little bit behind. He's still doing very well time-wise. Yeah, it seems like Jibe is the best option here. I'm not sure what else there is to consider, but Jackson definitely taking his time to check for other plays here. He does play it, okay. And, ooh, nice from Jennifer, playing 48 points for a doll very quickly, and that's what she needs to do. Keep scoring and do it quickly. She's catching up now in terms of time. Awkward draw there, though, both V's. Not what you want to see when you're trying to bingo with that blank. The blank and the V's and W's are not very synergistic. So a tough spot here for both players, really. Jennifer up by 40, but drawing awkward racks, and Jackson not drawing well either. He exchanges 5 vowels, keeping just AS as his leave, and Jennifer still has both V's. She might want to consider just exchanging and trying to bingo faster. Although, I don't know. It's a hard board to bingo on or score points on, really. So it's kind of hard to tell whether you want to sell out for bingos or whether you want to just kind of keep scoring the best you can. Both seem like decent plans here at this point in the game. 22 tiles in the bag. Still a long way to go. What you can't do is burn too much time. That's the real issue here. 31 seconds, 32 over, 33 over. Yeah, Jennifer's got 25 seconds till the automatic loss kicks in. Doesn't want that for sure. All right, Vino, a nice quick play, 24 points, and hardly any time burned off the clock there. She's got 23 seconds now. Jackson's got quite a bit more time than that, but he is behind by a little and doesn't have that blank that Jennifer does. There is a second blank still unseen, which is interesting. All right, Sump, a nice scoring play, and Jennifer's got 17 seconds, 16, 15. A lot of trouble here. She plays Egg. Yeah, you just got to play the first valid word you see at this point. You can't burn any more clock. And, you know, there's obviously no time for Jennifer to think through a close endgame. She's got to just hope for a fast bingo that wins by enough that she can just kind of win without thinking. You need to get to a fast bingo and play it as soon as you can. Jackson's overtime as well now, but he's still got 50 seconds. Make that 45 seconds. So yeah, this could be trouble for both players on the clock, but so far, Jackson's got a little more of an advantage there. What's there to be done here for Jackson? This is tough. He plays Arg, and Jennifer's got 10 seconds. 9, 8. She plays Vig, getting rid of that VI combo. CINR blank should bingo soon, but on this board, where's it going to go? Might hope for a 7 with starting with a vowel next to this H. Okay, she plays Vinnick instantly. That's a great way to get rid of those I's. Vinnick keeps INR blank. So Jackson leads by a little bit, and he's drawn the other blank. Jennifer now can't bingo because the bag's empty, and it looks like Jackson should hold on, but he's in time trouble too. Jennifer's got 2 seconds. She plays cur and just valid word for Jackson. That's all you need, and he does play one. Okay. Messy endgame to be sure, but Jackson does get the win. 386, 346 is your final. All right, so put the win on the board for Jackson, and it is on to game 2. All right. 1-0 Jackson, and game 2 he's going first. So, good start for Jackson, who again must win this match to stay alive. Jackson looking to make the playoff bracket. He needs a win in this match and a loss for Jesse Day as well. He needs both to happen. We'll see if he can get it. First step's to take care of business here, and he's up 1-0. So Wiz, a pretty good scoring play for Jennifer to start. 27-10 she leads, but Jackson's back on turn now. Duplicate eyes, and all right, he plays Vile, keeping IRT for a leave, and he draws... I don't think there's a bingo in there. Oh, wait, maybe Smirted is good. What do we think of Smirted? Nope, just kidding. Is there any anagram for this at all? No, okay. There's no word in this. I don't know why I thought there was. Difficult rack. If you can't bingo, what do you want to do with it? He just fishes. Okay, so just playing the M for 7 points keeps DEIRST, good leave. It's going to bingo with most of the tiles in the bag. Consonant or vowel, you're pretty happy either way. When you make a one-tile fish like that, you want to count, like, how many tiles does this hit? Obviously, in a Blitz game, you can't count everything, but you want to at least approximate, like, does this hit with, like, half the bag or 3/4 or whatever? I think with Jackson, it's most of the bag. You can bingo with stride plus a 7th tile. He does draw the W for wristed. That'll work. 80 points for that. But Jennifer draws Tooniest right out of the bag, and I imagine she'll have a spot for... Maybe she doesn't have a spot for that, actually. Where does Tooniest go? Looks like it doesn't. That's unfortunate for her. She is now down by a bingo after Jackson got down wristed. So, definitely a tough spot here. Clock ticking, and Jennifer's just going to blow up the rack. 25 points for Toons. And kind of a strange draw for Jackson as well. Might want to play Cruve. Okay, Vo. Vo keeps a nice balanced CEOR leave. Might bingo with that if you get lucky. And looks like a rack that's almost a bingo, but not quite for Jennifer. No podiatry, nothing like that. Might want to just look for a way to decently score and balance here and get through it. Yeah, Doi looks like a reasonable option there, keeping APIT. And Jackson immediately plays Fog right back, keeping a balanced leave himself. Both players keeping pretty good leaves here, but neither one of them has gotten a bingo since Jackson's wristed earlier. So Jackson's still ahead by a little bit. Jennifer just continues to balance the rack and score what she can. Looks like no bingo here either. No outpaint, nothing like that. All right, she'll just play Patio. She's opting a lot to just kind of play long and blow up these racks rather than fish too much. Like Toons and Patio are kind of longer plays. All right, Bark for 19 gets rid of the Q. And Jennifer draws the first of the 2 blanks. But again, she's got one of those racks that's kind of weird. She got the blank but can't bingo with it. Wow, she blows up the rack. Wow, Chunky is 64 points. Nice find. 64 points is probably worth burning that blank. And she takes the lead, but it's a small lead. Jacana, nice play from Jackson. 46 for that. But Jennifer's got the X-bomb. Here comes EX, I'm sure. EX plays right here next to Chunky for a good score, 55. I'm expecting to see that, and there it is. So both players kind of trading the lead back and forth. Jennifer leads, then Jackson does again. Figo puts him ahead by 11. Jennifer's got Agnates, but I believe there is a spot for Agnates. Ooh, it's missed. Unfortunate. Pang for 20 instead. So the missed bingo there gives Jackson a chance to take the lead right back. So Jackson's up by 2 now after playing Pal for 11, and there's the bingo. So Jennifer's up a bingo now, but Inliers, Resilin, Inliers plays, and there it is. So we got a very, very close game now. 2 in the bag. Jennifer on turn up by 3. What can she do with this rack? Too many vowels. She might just want to play long, play as many vowels as she can, but that's not easy to do. Is there a spot for like Iota or something? I mean, you could play, what, Iota? Yeah, she plays Iota there. That's what I was going to say. But is that going to work? Synodal, I don't think Synodal plays. There might not be a bingo here, but you don't need to bingo here if you're Jackson. You're only down by a little bit. Doyen's probably going to be enough. 43 plus 5 for the challenge. I think Jennifer knows she's got a challenge because she is hopelessly behind after that play of Doyen. Nice job by Jackson to find the game-winning play, and it looks like he's going to be 2-0 here. Jennifer's going to go over, but it's not going to help. Yeah, she just plays eyed, and she will come up short here in game 2. Final score is going to be Jackson 4-0-5, Jennifer 3-6-5, a 40-point win for Jackson, who improves to 2-0. Again, Jackson Smylie must win this match to stay alive in the playoff race, and he's doing well so far. 2 wins, 0 losses, and it's on to game 3. Looks like Jot will be a fairly standard play here for Jennifer, just a 20-point play, keeping a solid lead of AIRT. Not sure if there's anything else to... Oh, she plays longer here. Rioja for 26, keeping just TT. Probably not the best lead you could hope for there, but she goes for the higher score. All right, so now what do you do? If you're Jackson, kind of an awkward rack, a lot of high-scoring consonants. Where do they go? Okay, Chubb, that seems pretty good, keeping BST. And we got ourselves a interesting game here, pretty close early with neither player getting out to an early lead. Padded is 27, and Jackson's got to exchange with all consonants. All right, Override is going to bingo here, and Jennifer plays it immediately. She also had Divorcer through the C and Chubb as another option. But she chooses Override, and now it's adjusted on Jackson's rack. Oh, also Cagius is a word. Okay, Cagius for 82 comes down, and we got ourselves a game. Jennifer up by a little bit. She's got Heal for a very nice score right up top here above Cagius. Oh, I was going to look at the other spot for Heal, but that's good too. 44 points for Heal either way, or 44-ish either way. I didn't count the one on the right. And what do we have here for Jackson? Voyager, very classy play there into the open UR. 38 points, non-bingo, but a very cool non-bingo, Voyager. And Glove comes down. Looks like a reasonable way to take out that V in the triple lane. And we got ourselves a one bingo lead here for Jennifer, but it's Jackson on turn. Not even a bingo, only 49 points down. Fairly close game. I don't think there's a bingo here for Jackson. What could he have? I was looking for an L for Melitin. Not sure what else there is. He just plays TT for 28 and kind of a clunky draw, but Niqab is a nice scoring play for Jennifer, burning that Q for 35. Leave of NW. Ooh, and Wombed. Very nice bingo from Jackson, played instantly as well. Very nice, and Jackson takes the lead now. Interesting draw for Jennifer. I don't think it bingos. She would need like an N for co-winner. That's not happening. G for cowering, also not available. So I think she's got no bingo, but I'm sure there's ways to score pretty decently. I see WoW as one option. You could just play WoW here for 27, keeping a good leave. I don't mind that. I'm sure there's other similar ideas. Are there any other bingos I'm not thinking of, like anagram, co-winner, blank? Yeah, just co-winner and cowering. Okay. So not going to bingo here, but plenty of ways to score and balance pretty nicely. She does play WoW. That looks fine. And Unfed comes down right away from Jackson, who's playing pretty well, pretty fast this game, not wasting any time. So another rack that looks close to a bingo, but I'm not sure if it quite is one here for Jennifer. Looking for like a T for in center. Yeah, not seeing any bingos that actually work. But if that's the case, then yeah, what do you do? Got to keep scoring. You're now down by a little bit. 37 points behind after the big bingo of Enwombed from Jackson. All right, 9, a pretty good score. And that's going to make this a very close game. 12-point advantage for Jackson. So what can be done here? Miff looks like a reasonable play there, giving Jackson a good score and putting him up by 44. Recluse, I think, is another non-playable bingo. Is there anything besides Recluse to think about? Cruelist, Lectures, those don't fit. Yeah, she'll just have to fish again. UE for 12. Trying to get that bingo, but it's going to be tough. Oh, she draws all consonants. She kept ECLRS and she drew RT. And that's not going to cut it, so... Every turn Jennifer fishes, she falls farther behind, and Jackson is starting to pull away here. Good chance of Jackson winning this game and going up 3-0. What can be done here for Kempe? Not much, I don't think. I guess she's got to just fish again. There's not really much else you can do, but fishing is also not easy. Like, where do you find a play on this board? Rot for 3. That is not pretty, but I'm not sure what would have been better. Oxo comes down. Yeah, Jackson just keeps outscoring. That is the key here. Just keep scoring so that no matter what the bingo is, you can stay ahead. And that looks to be the case here. Almost 100. No, it's over 100. 102 point lead now for Jackson, and Jennifer is just kind of desperately far behind on both the scoreboard and the clock now. So looking like it's going to be 3-0. And not much to be done. Great draw, though. Wow. Ooh, Glaziers for 68. That is a non-bingo, but it's a cool play. 68 points for that, and it's going to be a losing effort as Jackson's going to wrap this up. So, looking like 3-0 Jackson. Okay. So, Jackson in a do-or-die match, and he is right now doing a whole lot of doing. 3-0. On to game 4. Opening rack of all vowels for Jackson. He exchanges 5. And, or sorry, all vowels in a blank. He kept E blank. And it looks like he's drawn a pretty good rack here. What's the bingo? Docilely, that works. I think he had some other options as well. But docilely gives him 65 plus 5 for the challenge. 70-8 is your score right now, but it's Jennifer now on turn, and she's got some decent scoring tiles. What can she do here? I don't think trappy is a word. Define trappy, bot. Oh, trappy is good, okay. It's a chess term, right? Like if a chess opening is very trappy, there's ways to trap your opponent. All right, 30 points for parry or parry, that's a word. And it looks like a little bit consonant heavy on the rack here for Jackson. Not much to be done. I don't think you need to exchange, though. You can probably play through this with something. I think maybe Nelson is an option. Just playing through this E for not very many points, but it's 12. It's better than 0. And it cleans up the duplicated N's and S's pretty well. I'm sure there's other options like that. Oh, wait a minute. You have a double-double here. You can play tonsils. Didn't see that at first. Yeah, tonsils might be worth it. Just 28 points. Get your double-double and just blow up the rack. I don't really know if it's worth fishing with a rack like this. It's not that strong, despite the S's. And, 28's a pretty good score if you can just take that. It's a lot better than the 14 for Nelson. I don't know. There's probably other options as well. All right, so Jackson plays shorter. He plays loins, keeping a leave of NST. You draw a couple of vowels there and you're in business. And awkward stuff for Jennifer. The J, the F, the P, those don't really go together very well. She does have this hot spot for the J. She could consider playing off other tiles and just keeping the J for a play there later. Kind of hard to hit the right. So, I mean, like, you could hit an A or an O, but then... Oh, she'll just play Ja. Okay, that's reasonable. And I see keenest and keyteens, and keyteens does come down right away from Jackson. Plus 5 for the challenge. It is 83, including the challenge and the lead. Jackson's up by 100 exactly. 163 to 63. And let's see here. Jennifer's got that F and that P still. Not a lot of synergy in those consonants. I'm sure she can play through them for a little bit of score, though. Something like fib might be reasonable. You don't really want to kill off bingos when you're down by 100, so fib is not ideal in that regard. But what are your options otherwise? It's kind of hard. If there's a way to score well without blocking up the board, that would be ideal. But it's hard to find anything like that on this board. Just looking around. There just aren't a lot of spots that keep the board open. You don't really have the right kind of rack to play a long word that opens the board more. I mean, you could play like tepid or something. I don't know. Fid comes down. Okay, fid. Similar idea to fib like I was talking about. And looks like not quite a bingo. Yeah, notchier doesn't quite fit. It would have made RO. And back to Jennifer with that Q. She's got to play it right away. Cat for 18, keeping beep, B-E-P as a leave. Still these awkward draws, the F and the P, the B and the P, just these tiles that don't go together. Not a lot of synergy with these consonants. Not great draws for Jackson either. A lot of vowels. He's going to play through them with inure, but inure keeps, what is that? I-O-O as a leave. Not wonderful. So let's see here. A lot of vowels with the B and the P for Jennifer, and she's down by quite a bit. Tough spot here. All right, she plays B for 9. That is pretty weak, but it was a pretty weak rack. What are you going to do? Looks like audio is a reasonable word here for Jackson to just get rid of these vowels, at least a lot of them, not all of them. Okay, he does play audio, and that's going to open the board a little bit. That's going to give probably some kind of scoring play to Jennifer with that wide open A in the triple lane. What does she have? It's actually not easy to hit that A with a valid word with these letters. What do you play? Maybe you don't play anything there. Yeah, it's very tricky. It looks like it should be easy, but I'm not seeing stuff. Yeah, she'll just play Do, leaving that A open. There is value in leaving that A open because you need the big triple triple to come back. You're down by so much that leaving big things open might be to your advantage. All right, Ixia for 33 kills that triple, keeping the G and the P still. Just these rough combinations of consonants that don't go well together still for Jennifer. Bad draws for Jackson as well. 3 I's. I've just seen so many matches this tournament where players just draw too many I's at once. It is hard playing through these racks with 2, 3, 4 I's at a time. So what to do here? Not an easy situation for Jackson. He's up by a lot though. He's just got to keep making reasonable plays and not slow down too much. Don't want to have any flagging risk here. All right, Jackson plays Chow, just getting rid of 3 vowels, and Jennifer with the opposite problem, too many consonants, plays through those. Idolism is a bingo here, but I don't think it plays. If you can't play Idolism, then what do you do? It's not easy to find a good play here. Sort of a blocked up board with the exception of this lane in line 2. There's not a lot of obvious scoring spots is what I mean. But both players are going to fight through it, and Jackson's the one ahead by 97 at the moment. Hey, Jalopik 1, greetings to you too. Hope you're having a good evening. How's the Benji Will match going? I watched part of that, but I had to jump over to this instead, so I didn't see the whole thing. Last I checked, it was like 3-0 Will. Looks like he was doing pretty well. Oh, Will won. Okay, cool. Hey, Gooseberry. No worries about the noob question. I can answer that. So the format of this tournament is every game is 3 minutes plus a 1 minute overtime. So you can go over by 1 minute, and there's a 10-point penalty for using that extra minute. And then after the last minute, you forfeit after that. So it's a 3-minute game, but really it's a 4-minute game because you get that 4th minute as a little bonus time. And it is pretty routine for these players to go 1 minute over. It's only a 10-point penalty, and 10 points is not that much. It's usually worth it to use that extra minute. But right now, both players are deep into that extra minute, and they got to worry about flagging. But and trails the bingo for Jennifer here, and that puts her within not that much, within 87, and yeah, she's still going to lose. So Jackson gets the win, a final score of 398, 349, and that's going to make it 4-0 Jackson. So a very strong position right now. He just needs one more win to lock up the match, and then after that, it is time for him to watch as Jesse plays Chris Grubb. Again, Jackson needs a win and a loss for Jesse against Chris Grubb in order for Jackson to advance here. So tough ask here, as Jesse is a tough player to beat, and he needs Jesse to lose one. All right, Narthex, nice play by Jackson. We are in game 5 here. Jackson looking to make it 5-0. Yes, Grubb Day is coming right up after this. So we're going to have a double header of Jackson followed by Jesse versus Grubb. And Jackson will know after tonight whether he advances or not. So Will won 5, and is Will still playing, Benji, or is that happening in the other channel? You said 5-2, but are they still playing the last 2? I suppose I could check that myself, but I'm too lazy. Yeah, they're still playing. All right, cool. Yeah, the chats are pretty cool. I think that's a really cool format. What Jackson and Will what Benji and Will are doing. So Josh is showing both players on camera, and he's broadcasting their games and interviewing them in between. I think it's a really cool format, and I might talk to Jackson about whether he wants to do more of those because I think it's a really cool thing. We of course have a 16-player playoff bracket coming up, and I think it'd be really cool to have Jackson do some more of those those co-streams with players being interviewed. I think it's a really cool thing. So props to Jackson on a great idea. Or props to Josh, excuse me. You know what I'm saying. I just can't think straight right now. Trying to watch one match and watch another match and broadcast things and stream things all at once, it's a lot. But anyway, we are watching Jackson here. He is 1 win away from winning this match against Jennifer and locking up at least a chance at a playoff spot here. All right, so Bisting is the phony from Jennifer that comes off, and that gives Jackson a free turn with which he plays Cup for 30 points. Nice scoring play there. The valid bingo Jennifer has, I believe, is ring bits, but that is a tough word, and I'm not sure if she knows it. I have a pretty good knowledge of what words Jennifer has studied and what words she hasn't, and I feel like ring bits is pretty borderline. I'm going to guess she probably doesn't know it. But yeah, it looks like she plays Bing instead for 18. She's keeping IST as a leave, and she'll try and bingo next turn. Okay, she's drawn Toasty. That's going to come down, I would imagine. And or Ostiate. Ostiate comes down for 70, and that gives her the lead. She gets +5 for the challenge as well. And, ooh, it looks like Ahemeral was blocked through that R in Tetrads. Ostiate blocking the spot for that. All right, so Jackson does pull a little bit ahead by playing high M for 52. Nice overlap with that H, and Jennifer scores well with the J as well. So they're trading pretty decent scores, and Jackson's ahead by a little bit here, 42-point lead. But Jennifer's drawn the other blank. Can she come up with a bingo here? Oh, no, she's drawn the first blank, excuse me. Ooh, that's a phony. Foreigns is not going to stay on. Foreigns comes off, and Jackson gets a free turn. So actually, yeah, Jennifer drew the first of the 2 blanks. There's still a second blank unseen, and that'll be crucial, obviously. So Jennifer, unfortunately, wasting a turn there. She could have used the fast bingo and a chance at drawing the second blank too, but giving the tempo advantage to Jackson here as he already leads by 42, and he's going to block bingos now from the F and the R. That's going to make things a little bit more difficult for Jennifer here. She does have bingos. Actually, she literally has bingos. She has bingos. And it plays there, making Joe's. So a 74-point bingo opportunity underneath Joe, if you can see that spot. And obviously Jennifer has issues with the clock, but she does find regions in that spot for 76, and that does put her in the lead by a little bit. But Unideal comes right back from Jackson. He is playing quickly and finding his bingos, and he now leads by 41, getting pretty low on time now. Jennifer's going to go over almost certainly. 9 tiles in the bag still. She's going to need to bingo again. She does have the second blank, but a weird rack with it, the Q and the Z and so on. What can be done here? Difficult position. You got to play through the Q and the Z and try to bingo out, I guess. She plays Fluck, keeping the Q and the Z. All right, I guess she's not going to bingo anyway. She's going to try a different route, and Jackson wisely blocking the hot spot where the Z might have played. And there is a spot for the Q, though. If you do like quilts or something, that is exactly what she plays. Quilts keeping the Z. She's going to keep scoring. This is a shot for Jennifer to win one, I think. She drew the V, though. That's a weird tile with the Z. I don't think she's going to go out now with EORVZ. If Jackson just finds a reasonable sequence to go out in 2 moves, that should be enough. But it's not an easy rack for Jackson to go out in 2 with. What do you play here? Like, if you play Audit, is that enough? Audit leaves you behind still, and then Jennifer's going to score with her Z. You might lose even if you do go out. Not easy. Is there a better scoring option than Audit? I mean, there's certainly a better scoring option than Audit, but what is it? You can do something here. No. All right, he plays Guild for 11. Jennifer's got 27 seconds to find the way to score with her Z that's best. Not easy to do. What can be done here? I see 0 as one option. That scores 21, keeping your V. She plays Res. Oh, that's more points. 36, excuse me. That's better than 0. She keeps VO. Can she go out with VO? Yeah, she's got OVA here at 5M. And she's probably got more spots for OV, right? Yeah, she's got SOV. She's got 2 spots to go out. If she plays out, she wins. And oh, she plays Gov. That works too. All right, so Jennifer wins a close one by 31. It's 451, 420 your final, and she holds off Jackson from winning the match just yet. Jackson's up 4-1 now, not 4-0. Yeah, that was a nice game. Well, except for the two phonies. Other than that, as a longtime observer of Jennifer's game, I can tell you she's a very good player when she's not phonying. When she phonies, it's a little bit tougher to win. All right, 73-point bingo to open for Jackson. Jackson Smylie 1 win away from winning the match and putting himself in position to potentially make the playoffs. But again, Jackson needs a win and a Jessie Day loss. Not phonying can be hard, I agree. All right, P for 13, a pretty low scoring play with too many vowels there for Jennifer, and then ovoid for a pretty good score. 31 for Jackson comes down. Roulade is the bingo here for Jennifer. I would expect to see it come down here. I don't think there's anything else available. Labored doesn't play. It would only make a peed. Yeah, roulades is the play here. 64 for that. And I would imagine that Jackson's got something, although I'm not seeing it. Oh yeah, erotetic is a word. Not sure if Jackson knows that one because of his dictionary, let's just say, deficiencies. What else can you play if you don't know the word erotetic? Perhaps nothing very good. I guess you could just play Cotter, take out this triple and score decently, 27. That is what he does, okay. So Jackson's ahead by a little bit here. He did have a pretty high scoring opening bingo, and he's now up by, what number of points is that, 54? 54. Jennifer not scoring that well right now. Kind of a clunky rack with two U's. Jackson's got plenty of scoring potential with these H's. Is Hanch a word? I can never remember. He'll just play ranch. Define Hanch. It's a word, okay. Do I remember what's CSW only? A little bit. I knew the high probability 8s very, very well before I played cons, and so I can usually remember which ones I learned more recently. Erotetic, I'm pretty sure I learned like post 2012-ish. So I'm pretty sure that's cons only. But yeah, for the most part, it's hard. And luckily, I don't really care very much these days. But yeah, it helps when you're broadcasting a player like Jackson to know like what words he might know and not know. Erotetic seems like a regular word to you, huh? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't really care that much generally. Erotetic, interrogatory. I don't know. Maybe you have a better vocabulary than me in real life. To me, it's a weird word. All right, what's going on here? We got Jackson on turn, up by a little bit, up by 38. And I don't think he's got anything that good on this rack. Hallier, these aren't words. What do you do here? Maybe you just try to score as much as you can with this H and kind of keep a balanced leave. Wow, he fishes. That's weird. I'm not sure if I like that play. He just plays Lee for 5. Keeping, oh, he draws Hallier. No spot for it, though. Meanwhile, Jennifer bingos for 83 in the lead. So a good position here for Jennifer. She's pretty well in the lead, but Jackson could come back. What do you do here with Hallier if you can't play it for a bingo? I don't know why he played Lee for 5. That's a bizarre fish. I don't know what he's fishing for. It's very strange. I'm sure he had his reasons, though. All right, high for 17. Another fairly fishy play from Jackson. It's a difficult board to bingo on, so I don't know if I would really sell out for a bingo in this position, but he's got his reasons, I'm sure. Yeah, it didn't set up many lanes for himself. Yeah, it's very, very strange, but all right. So Was and Wall, 30-point W plays for each player, and Campy remains ahead by 23 and on turn. Very vowel heavy rack now. Not sure what you can do with it, really. Not a great one. You could play Toya for 5. Okay, Ia for 16. That's way better. The X is an interesting tile. I don't think it goes on this board for like an amazingly high score, but what can you do with it? You could play Pixie. It's only 16. Keeps a weird lead. That's not good. What do you do here? This is, it looked good at first, and then I started to actually look for a spot. Maybe you just play branched. Just play your E and your D, 32, deal with the X later. Seems okay, given the lack of alternatives. All right, Jackson plays XI for 20. And time's going to be an issue here. Jackson's going to go over. He's got 1 minute left, and he's down 50. Fair scores well, though. 33 points for that, and he is back in it. And still too many vowels on Jennifer's rack. He's going to try to play through it. 19 points for Arrow. AAS, the leave, is kind of weird, but you could maybe draw something okay. You're setting up a spot to play Boz with your S. That's a pretty good draw, but not quite a bingo. Yeah, S's are unseen. It's a good point. Both players are going to have to be, racing for a bingo that plays in this spot, this K3 bingo lane. Neither player's drawn one quite yet. Looks like it is Jackson behind by 21 points on turn. What can you do here? He just fishes again. What is he fishing for? I don't know. Maybe he's making short plays hoping to flag. No, he's not going to flag Jennifer. Jennifer's the one ahead on time. I don't know what's going on. Jackson's making some very strange fishing plays. Maybe he's just making this match closer for content. He wants it to be like 4-3 and then he'll win the match. Or maybe he's going to score very well in his next turn. I don't know. So Jennifer gets 3 points for just fishing an A. And she does draw Infairs, and now Infairs plays. I don't know what you're thinking about. You should just play this, right? What else is there to consider? Seraphin doesn't... Does Seraphin play? I didn't see it. Yeah, I don't think there's a spot for Seraphin, but maybe she's looking for one. As far as I know, Infairs is the only bingo that actually fits. Oh yeah, Seraphin would have played if Arrow were one space to the left. True. Yep, seems like Infairs is the play, but she's taking her time for some reason. All right, she does play it. It wasn't missed. So now it's a 32-point lead for Jennifer, and Jackson's got to respond. He has drawn, well, honestly, he's probably drawn better than Jennifer has, because Jennifer's got this QVY situation with 2 in the bag. She's probably going to draw a lot of those clunkers. Only 1 vowel out of the 9 tiles unseen to Jackson. So he knows that Jennifer's rack is bad, but... he's very, very low on time, and he's behind on the scoreboard. Wow, so Jennifer drew all of the bad consonants, but Emids scores very well, and Strodels, Oldsters, wow, Jackson's going to bingo out for the win. Wow, with 2 seconds left, Jackson bingos out and wins the game and the match. What an ending. Jackson Smylie just pulls it out in dramatic fashion. 456, 410 is your final, and Jackson does get the 5 wins that he needs to stay alive. Let's take a look at the scoreboard in the Chipmunk group. So Jackson gets the win here. This is going to make things quite interesting. So if we update the match records, Jackson is going to be no longer 6-2. He is now 7-2. And Jennifer is going to fall to a very unfortunate 1-8. So Jackson's guaranteed to have 7 match wins. And that means if Jessie Day loses, Jackson will pass Jessie on game wins, and he will finish second. So Jackson is in position to make the playoffs here if Jessie loses his match. We will find out in a little bit as Jessie plays Chris Grubb on this very stream right after this. But let's go back to the board where they're playing a fairly irrelevant, to be honest with you, games 7, 8, and 9. But we'll just get some practice games in. Of course, Jackson's going to need the practice if he is in the playoffs to take on a very difficult group of 16. So... couple of practice games here for Jackson as he maybe plays in the playoffs, maybe doesn't, depending on how Jessie Day does next. So it will be Jackson or Jessie advancing in the playoffs. Unfortunately, Chris Grubb eliminated now that Jackson has passed him for good. But as for Jackson, he's going to have to watch Jessie and pray for a loss. That's the situation now. Anyway, let's play 3 more games just for funsies. We got Kempe here down 85-17 early, and she's drawn a rather unfortunate rack that looks like a bingo, but I believe it is not one. Unless there's some kind of crazy 9 or something. I don't think there is, though. Are there any 9s with I-O in these letters? I don't think. T-A? I don't think so. Looks like it's going to be a fish. M-O for 16, and ooh, good draw for Jackson. I think he's probably got something. What does Jackson have? Euploid, that's a word, and it gives back Detainer. I would expect Detainer to come down pretty quickly here from Jennifer. She's down by 120. She needs to bingo, and she's going to get one. She's taking her time, but this is another one of the situations where you don't really want to take too much. Just play the obvious bingo and move on. All right, Detainer does come down eventually, and Waff, a nice scoring play from Jackson. 34 for that. And Jennifer has drawn a pretty decent rack right out of the bag, but I don't think it bingos. Looking for, yeah, don't think I see anything. You can probably play, I think maybe Peyton is a word, is that right? What do we think? Define Peyton, but yeah. Communion bread, oh yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, so Peyton is a pretty strong option if you know that word. If you don't, you might have to go for a shorter play. I don't think there's any other fives that score with that P. All right, she plays pet. That's a shorter play. And kind of both players playing through these racks that are somewhat close to a bingo, but not quite. And let's see here. Jennifer's pretty low on time, 40 seconds plus the 1 minute overtime. She plays Kang for 28, pretty good score, keeping AEH as a leave. That could maybe turn into something, we'll see. And weird draw for Jackson. Not sure what to do with this. You could just play Uniting for like hardly any points at all and just blow it up. Just take your 10 points and move on. Okay, Union, that's similar, 12 points. pretty good leave though, INT. Could turn into something. And nice score for Jennifer, 47. Wow, 47 for yeah. Very strong scoring play, and she is pretty close to getting back in this thing, only down by a little bit now. All right. Jackson's scoring well, though. 37 for Divot, turning Riff into Rift. Nice hook there, and pretty good lead here. What can Jennifer do in response? Down by 60. She plays Vor for 14. She's still way behind. She's going to need to bingo pretty soon to get back into this, and it's going to be hard. Oh, she draws Disabler right away. Wow. Very good draw. And wow. She played Vor, keeping ABLR, and she drew the perfect 3 tiles for Disabler. But she's still behind as Jackson keeps on scoring. Wive for 42. And Jackson's now ahead by 32 points. And he's the one on turn as well. Jennifer kept AEOS, and she draws another vowel. She needs to draw consonant on one of those fishes for this to work. She plays AE. She keeps AEOST. Oh, no, she played a phony 2, EY. I have lost count of how many EYs I've seen. It's been a lot of EYs. You broadcast enough of these Blitz matches, and you see a lot of phony 2s, and for some reason, EY is like the most popular phony 2 of all. Not sure what that is, but for some reason, it just keeps happening. All right, EA for 18, pretty reasonable play, but I don't think she's going to get her bingo as she runs out of tiles in the bag to draw. So Jackson will hold on, and Jackson will get win number 6. So we're going to have 2 more games between Jackson and Jennifer, followed by Jesse Day and Chris Grubb. Jesse is playing for a playoff spot. It is do or die time for Jesse. Looking to see who advances from the Chipmunk group. Earlier today, Janul da Silva guaranteed himself a spot with his 8th win of the tournament, and Jesse's looking to match him with an 8-1 finish of his own. If Jesse wins, he's in. If he loses, Jackson is in. That is the situation. All right. So Kempe is going to pass her turn to go out of this game, and we have a final score of 4-6-6 to 3-6-5. Jackson gets the win, and Jackson is 6-1. An impressive run from Jackson Smylie. Let's take a look at the schedule for this weekend. I can't fit the whole thing on one screen, but here's a sampling of it. We got Jackson and Jennifer tonight. We got Jesse and Chris Grubb also tonight, with Jesse playing for a spot in the playoffs. And then tomorrow night, a banger. Andrew Fisher and Dave Wiegand. The winner will be the champion of the Giraffe group in BlitzChamps, and the loser will finish second. Cannot wait for that. Andrew versus Dave is going to be great. Tune in tomorrow night, same time, same place. Going to be a great match. Can't wait for it. All right, back to the board. Game number 8, Jennifer and Jackson. Jennifer goes first. She plays Fez for 30, and Jackson has an almost certainly bingo rack here. Jousted is the choice from Jackson. 68 points for that. Quote is the obvious play, and Jennifer plays it right away. 48 points for that. And Overfit is also a pretty clear option here for Jackson. If he knows the word and finds the spot of quoter, then it looks like this is a pretty clear best play. 93 points. Gotta play that if you see it. Isn't really much else to think about. Jackson, though, taking his time for some reason. Does he not see Overfit? Does he not see quoter? Or is he for some reason looking for a better play than this? I'm not sure. Ooh, okay, Overfit is missed. He plays Trove instead. Unfortunate. Is overfit? I don't think overfit is Collins. It seems like a normal word. Yeah, overfit, excessively fit, adjective. Seems like a normal thing. All right, so a strange miss there, but Jackson is still ahead, 101.78. And Jennifer has, looks like no bingo. She's got a pretty decent balanced rack. I believe Trove takes an R, right? Help me out here, bot. Define Trover. Trover's fine, yep. So you could play something like Pratt. Seems like a strong option, 36. Kempe, though, taking her time, What can she do here if not Pratt? Are there other options? I'm not seeing very much. All right, she plays Patter for 22. So a little bit weaker in terms of score, but she just wants to blow up the rack, apparently. Fox for 38. Nice scoring play coming right back from Jackson. Welders is drawn. Welders plays. You can put Welders here. What else is there to consider? Not thinking there's very much. Looks like Welders is the choice. Jennifer, though, taking her time. 39-point game, 139 to 100. Jackson leads. He's got the only bingo so far. Ooh, sad. All right, she plays with Dow instead. Not the best choice there. And Jackson retains his lead by a little bit, 139, 128. And he keeps on scoring a little bit here, 24 for Gar. All right, so Jackson's up 6 to 1, looking to make it 7, and he's got the lead so far. 163, 128. Kempe, Jennifer is on turn, and she's just going to play Do for 22. Trying to find a bingo prone rack, but drawing a lot of consonants here. Rudish, nice play. Cool word, cool overlaps, good score. 36 plus 5 for the challenge, and Jennifer still has like at least one consonant too many, if not 2 or 3 too many. What do you do here? I'm guessing she doesn't know Trover because she didn't play it last time. Like if you know the word Trover, then like Larks looks pretty strong, 36. But she's going to score less instead. 23 for Ken. Keeping both the L's. Ooh, she draws not very well. Might need to play like Roll or something here to get rid of these R's and L's. Like you could just play Roll for like not very many points at all. 11 points here. That gives back a massive spot to your opponent to score a lot with any 5-letter word here. All right, she plays Roll over there for 8 points, which seems better. I think you're not going to allow as many points to your opponent that way. Jackson with a lot of eyes plays Ilya for 13, just kind of unloading some junk. And what now? Jackson is up by 71. Jennifer's on turn. Pretty low on the clock. She's got to play something pretty quickly. Looks like both players are not seeing that spot or not knowing the word Trover. So barring that, Jennifer's going to play elsewhere. She's going to play Prim for 16. And wow, a lot of eyes. Jackson plays Ilya with 3 eyes on his rack. He draws 2 more eyes to replace the 2 that he drew. And he's going to play off one of them, playing V for 30, keeping E-I-I-M. Not the prettiest leave in the world, but you do what you can with what you got. And, all right, NY for 20. So both players are just kind of these awkward racks. They're going to play through them, and Jackson is perfectly happy to have an ugly game like this because he's up by 100. Just keep the board ugly, and you're going to be fine. Bingoing is getting a little bit difficult on this board, and it's going to be just fine for Jackson as he leads by a lot. Ooh, Climate making Trolled. Didn't see that spot, did ya? I didn't see it anyway. So Trolled and Climate, 82 points. Nice play, and Jackson leads by quite a bit now. Jackson looking to go 7-1. Looks like he's going to win this match pretty convincingly. Don't go anywhere, though. Coming up next, it's going to be Jesse Day and Chris Grubb, and Jesse must win the match to stay alive in this tournament. He's playing for his tournament life. Going to be a very intense match between him and Chris Grubb. Chris, also a great player. Chris, unfortunately for him, knocked out of contention in this tournament as he lost to Jackson last week, and now Jackson winning this match to pass him in the standings for good. But Chris Grubb is playing spoiler now, a chance to beat Jesse and knock him out. Looking forward to watching Grubb versus Day coming up next. But we'll have one more game between Jackson and Jennifer, and we'll see. Hope you guys have enjoyed the content all week. We had a lot of fun BlitzChamps matches. We had Chris May and Ed Oculits earlier this week. We had a lot of fun last night with Austin Shin playing against Jeff Teveno. I myself, Evans Clinchy, played against Conrad Bashard. I got the win in that match. So a lot of fun matches throughout the week. And of course, on Josh Sokol's channel right now, there is a fun match happening between Will Anderson and Ben Shomron. That's a great one. But on this Twitch stream right here, we've got Jackson Smylie and Jennifer Clinchy, and Jackson just won his 7th game of the match. He is 7-1 with 1 game still to play, and it is Kempe to open. Jennifer plays Quito for 16. I think Quito was for a while not good, right? But they added it, I want to say. Or maybe Quito was good all along. I can't remember. It looks like... are Will and Benji still playing their match? I don't actually know. I don't think they've submitted a result, so in any event, we're going to be watching here as there's one last game between Jennifer and Jackson, and it's 31-17. Pretty low scoring game so far with Jackson on turn. He plays Nudie, and ooh, that gives an open U for Jennifer to dump that Q. Something like toke or quote or something like that will probably come down. You could also just play QI. Is it worth fishing with this? Yeah, she'll just play quoter. I don't think it's worth fishing with ENORTT. Probably doesn't bingo quite often enough. All right, so the X and some other interesting consonants here for Jackson. What to do, what to do. Huh. Kind of a strange rack. Just checking on the Will versus Benji match. It looks like Will got the win 6-3 over Benji, and then those guys are doing a little bit of post-mortem interviewing with Josh on Josh's channel. So check out twitch.tv/extratypo if you want to check out the little post-game coverage between Will and Benji. But if you prefer to watch this, that'd be cool too, or you can watch both if you're just a really big hardcore fan. So there's plenty of content to choose from. All right, so what is there to do here? This is a strange rack, BCMORTX. Jackson is taking his time, which he hasn't really done very much of in this match. And I take my time too. This is a hard rack. Not a lot of spots for box or cox or coxib or switching back and forth every 10 seconds. That is dedication. I love it. Oh, M-box. That's a word. There you go. M-box looks like a very strong option. You can play M-box from the E in quoter for a very good score. 32 keeping CRT. Seems like a nice choice. It might not be a word that Jackson knows. That might be one of those Collins only, I think they call it, words. He plays Reebox instead, which I think is just not anything, right? Reebox? Is that a thing? Yeah, Reebox is a phony. Jennifer is letting it stay, I guess. Hasn't been challenged yet. Okay. She leaves it on and she plays Ref for 26. So, okay. We got ourselves a close game here. 74-71, but Jackson's in time trouble. 23 points for Musid, keeping the J. Not sure what the plan is for that J. Not really any spots for it at all on this board. He's got, he might exchange one keeping Stride like he did earlier in the match. All right, he plays Jupe, just getting rid of the J for 26. That's pretty good. Jennifer's also kind of one tile off from a bingo. I don't know if she can do anything with this W, but everything else looks pretty good. Vrat, I believe, does not take an S, so that's one less bingo lane you have available to you. Vrat is an adjective meaning rotten. It is South African. Okay, cool. Oh, you have stewing. Yeah, stewing might be a word. Good call. I didn't see the spot for stewing at first. Stewing and O's is 71. So that would be a good choice here. Kempe is taking her time. Maybe she's missing O's like I am. Okay, she finds O's. Good job. Ritz Hards is a word that I believe also does not play. But Dirt for 18 just plays through the rack, keeping a pretty good leave of, what is that, ARST? No, AIRS. So we got ourselves a game here. Kempe is up by 33, but her rack is a little bit clunky. If you want to get real aggressive, you can play Vigil, set up your S, but that is not what she chooses to do, understandably so. All right, what do you do here? Viragos doesn't quite fit. All right, OG, huh. OG keeps AIRS. That's apparently Jackson's favorite leave. And let's see here. Jennifer is up by 26, and she's on turn. She's got some interesting scoring tiles. The W, yeah, you can play woe for 26, exactly. Hey, Jesse, you guys can start playing if you want to. I'll just pick you guys up mid-game. It's not a problem. You guys can play whenever you want. I'll just jump in as soon as I'm done with this, but play whenever. Yeah, good luck, guys. Jesse is playing for a spot in the playoffs, so a big match for him. We will jump right over to that as soon as this one is over. This is the final game between Jackson and Jennifer right here. Yeah, don't listen to the stream. That is cheating. You can mute me or whatever, but do not listen to me say what Chris's racks are. That would be very bad. I can see if you're in the Twitch. There's a chat box that lists who's here, so don't cheat. I'll know. Actually, I guess I won't know if you're muting me, but just, honor system. All right, Casina, I think is a word, right? Define Casina, bot. Yeah, Casina, is unfortunately missed. 21 for Acais instead, and Arsine Blank is probably going to bingo for Jackson. Although on this board, even with Arsine Blank, where do you bingo? I guess you have this open A, but the A's got to be perfectly fit in 5th position. I don't see a word right away. Oh, Vrats is no good. He plays Restrain Making Vrats, and Jennifer might challenge it off, or she might not see it or not know it, or I'm not sure what's going on here. So we got phonies flying. We got QE, we got Rebox, we got all sorts of fun stuff. And now Vrats is perhaps going to stay on. Jennifer has not challenged yet. She's also got a bingo on her rack of Inanist, Sani, but not seeing a spot for those. She does have Insectin. Insectin would, if I could put it in the right spot, that would help. Insectin plays here. But she's low on time. It's hard to find Insectin. There's like a million anagrams for it, and I think that's the one that fits. Right? Ooh, okay, she plays in for 9. That is not as good as challenging off the phony bingo or playing Insectin. Unfortunate, but she does bingo the turn after that. Slanted puts her in the lead, and the bag is now empty. So Jackson's down by 32. He's low on time as well. He's got the Z. Can he score with it? I don't know. Looking for a spot to score with this Z. I don't think he's going to get enough here. I think Jennifer's probably got this one. There's like, okay. Oh, Zaman, is that a word that plays somewhere? Oh, yeah, Zaman here. 52 for that if you can find it, but Jackson's very low on time. 3 seconds. 2. Ooh, he plays Faina instead, and he's got M-A-Z. M-A-Z. Vial and Jackson flags. Okay. So Jennifer gets the win. Jennifer gets the win in game 9, but Jackson gets the win in the match. So your final score is Jackson Smylie 7, Jennifer Clinchy 2. Congratulations to Jackson on the win. And for now, Jackson is still alive in this tournament, but we're going to go right over to Jesse Day and Chris Grubb. And if Jesse gets the win in his match against Chris Grubb, he will knock Jackson out, and Jesse Day, will get the spot. So we're going to hop right into that. I'm going to quickly reset the scoreboard, and then we'll get right over to the match. If I can just find my photographs of Jesse Day and put that here, and find Chris Grubb and put it here. And then I got to change their names on the screen, and then we can go right over to the match in just a second. That is how you spell Jesse Day. There is a Y in it. Not 2 Ys, just 1. Let's get that somewhat centered. And then let's type Chris Grubb like that. And let's get that a little bit centered as well. And then let's hop right into the Woggles room, and let's find where those two guys are playing. And hopefully we didn't miss much of their match. All right, they are still in game 1. We did not miss very much at all. This is Grubb time. Chris Grubb versus McGrathian, Jesse Day, and they are in game 1 of their match. So it's a best of 9, and Jesse must win 5 out of 9 to win the match and advance to the playoffs. Otherwise, he's going home. Grubb time, one of my favorite usernames on all of Woggles. I love it. Chris Grubb actually got married a couple years ago to a fellow player, Rachel Grubb, and I believe their wedding hashtag was #It's Grubb time. So that's now Chris Grubb's new catchphrase is #It's Grubb time. And Grubb Time is now his username on Wiggles, and I just love it. So he probably already is at home. That's a good point. Also, Jesse Day's home is a van, so I don't even know if that counts as a home at all, really. So really, either way, win or lose, Jesse will still be living in a van. Nothing's going to change in his life fundamentally. But in any event, he is playing for a playoff spot, and he is currently ahead, 133-107 in game one. Kind of a weird board, not a lot of opportunities, but ooh, Net does take a T-hook, and Jesse bingos with Inedita for a big lead now. Up by over 100, and Jesse is looks to be drawing much better than Chris Grubb here. All consonants for Chris, not great. So Chris is down by 104. Not a great situation. Also behind on the clock. Wow. So neither one of these guys has been the fastest player in this tournament. Chris and Jesse both have their time troubles, but ooh, elopsis? Is that how you spell that? That looks bizarre. But define elopsis. Okay, it's good. I'm just crazy. That looks like it's spelled wrong to me. Elopsis for 78. And wow, look at that score. 289 to 97. So Jesse is playing for his tournament life, and he is playing pretty well so far. Oh, so elops is a 5. Okay, wow. So elops, and then the plural is elopsis. Does that mean that elops with 2 L's is also a 6? Okay, elops is good as a 6. Because I knew elopsis like this just from studying 8s, but for some reason the 7 looks unfamiliar to me. So these are all the same word. A type of surgeon. Okay, cool. Learning new things. Love it. All right, so Jesse is doing very well this game. He's going to be up 1-0, I would presume. And then we'll have 8 more games with Jesse looking to win 4 out of the next 8 to secure his spot in the playoffs. Homeware. Wow, another big bingo from Jesse, and he's up by 240. Is he going to win by 240 or win by flagging? Either way, it's a win. So Selam comes down for 31. Grubb Time doing what he can, but oh my god, Jesse might have a triple-triple here. What does he have? Archines in arches, those don't quite triple-triple. Maybe he doesn't have one, but he's looking. You can tell he's looking. Oh, reaching is a word. Reaching, okay. 158 for reaching, and Jesse is just crushing. So, looking like it's going to be a victory either by scoring or flagging, either way. Don't use up all your points early. Yeah, it's looking like spread is not going to matter. We can take a quick look at the standings in a minute and confirm that. But for the most part, I think for Jesse, it's just win and in, lose and out, regardless of spread. All right, so playing out the final tiles here. There's pride in not flagging, I think, even if it has no bearing whatsoever on the result. I'm loath to allow resignations, although I think in the playoffs, or basically any match where spread doesn't matter, I guess why not? I guess we can allow them at this point. Hey, thanks for the raid, Extra Typo, appreciate you. Wow, hello everybody. Hello Nits, hello Betsy, hello Zero Radiography Expert. Hope you guys are enjoying your evening. I hope you guys enjoyed the Will victory over Benji. Wow, that is a great quote from Benji. I want to hear more about that later. But for now, you are just tuning in time to watch Jesse Day and Chris Grubb with Jesse playing for his tournament life. He's up 1-0. We just witnessed game 1. A quick look at the standings in the Chipmunk group. Here's how things look right now. So Jackson Smylie just won his match against Jennifer Clinchy. Jackson has finished the season 7-2. Jesse is at 7-1. If he loses, he will fall behind Jackson. So quite simply, Janul is in, Jesse is in if he wins, and Jackson is in if Jesse loses. So a lot is on the line right now as Jackson is waiting to see if Jesse will win or lose with a playoff spot on the line. Right now it is 1-0 Jesse, and we are waiting on these players to begin game 2. Here's your schedule for the weekend. We just watched Jackson versus Jennifer. That was a win for Jackson, 7-2. We got Jesse and Chris Grubb right now playing for a spot in the playoffs, Jesse is. And then a whole lot more matches throughout the weekend, including some real bangers. I can't wait for Andrew Fisher and Dave Wiegand. That's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night right here on this channel. And then some more great matches with Paul Gallen and Piotr Andronowski. We got Eldar and Wabin. We got Matthew O'Connor and Tony Sim. All sorts of fun. So I didn't update the game records because I'm lazy, but the actual number of game wins that Jackson has is not 52, it's 59. So long story short, Jackson is in if Jesse loses. Anyway, we are waiting on these players to begin game two. It looks like they have not yet had a rematch for this this game two. So we're still waiting on that, but we will have game two when we can. How are you guys doing? You guys enjoyed the Will win over Benji? I believe it was a 6-3 final in Will's favor, if I saw that correctly. Looks like they had some fun games though. And I just want to say that Josh's stream with both players was really cool. I think it's a great idea. Josh, we should chat sometime. You should do more of those. I think they're really cool. As for this match right now, it is do or die for Jesse Day. He must win to make the playoffs, and Jesse is currently up 1-0. Not sure if there's a little break between games 1 and 2 or what, but we're still waiting, it looks like. Sorry for the spoiler. Yeah, I think I kind of have to spoil things though because you know, we're trying to keep an up to date view of who's making the playoffs and who's not. So I believe that Will. Let's see. If Will won 6-3, that puts him at how many wins overall? He's got like 68. So Will's going to be the two seed overall. So it's looking like Will's going to play Aaron in the next round, and Benji's going to play Austin Shin, I believe. And then I believe that the 3 and 4 brackets are likely to be the Chris May at Oculus and Andrew Fisher Dave Weekend brackets. So there's going to be a lot of really, really competitive first round playoff matchups with those players. Anyway, let me just check on the Woogles tournament room and see if I'm missing what's going on with Jackson and Chris Grubb. I don't see. Okay, there we go. Game 2. Jesse Day, Chris Grubb getting underway. Jesse is up 1-0, and here comes game number 2. I would be all about Josh doing coverage for Will versus anybody, Will versus Aaron. That'd be great. Who is G.I. Joel? That is a great question. Very deep question indeed. All right, so Grubb bingo's first in game 2. He gets down Colorette, and that gives back partners as the pretty obvious bingo here for Jesse. He's got 2 different spots for it. He chooses 14B as his spot for 74. So Q is the QIN is the obvious play here for Grubb, and he makes it. 108, 104. Pretty close game early on in this one. Both players trading pretty big punches here. So what do you do here if you're Jesse? Even game. You've got kind of a clunky YOU combination. Not seeing a great spot for a word like you or anything like that. You don't have anything that plays here for too many points, right? Like Diro is only 34. Okay, Undi. Undi just kind of blows things up, keeping just the E and the I. And Lamater, I believe, doesn't play, but Trammell does come down. 74 points for that. Nice bingo from Chris Grubb for the lead. Kind of an awkward draw for Jesse, but he does have Fix It as an option. You can play Fix It here for 31, or Fix It in this other spot for also 31. What else is there to consider? Wait, what are you saying? You're going to try to commentate over... Oh, Benji and Josh are going to commentate for Will and Aaron? That'd be great. I'm all for it. What country is Chris from? Chris is from Australia. So a lot of the top players in this tournament are from one of 2 countries. It's a lot of players from the US and Australia. So the top overall seeds right now, I believe, are Austin and Will. The top 2 players are Americans. And then after that, it's Chris May, Edward Oculus, Andrew Fisher, David Eldar. 4 of the very best players in the field are Australians. So if you guys want to place your bets, who wins this tournament? The US or Australia or the field? I think that'd be a good bet. I'm not placing any bets myself, but you guys can have fun with that. All right, so McGrathy and Jesse Day with a small lead here, 210 to 204 over Grubb time, and it's Grubb now on turn with kind of an awkward rack. What do you do with this? Is there a spot for like skeg or kegs or something? Kind of tricky. I believe Fix It takes no S, is that right? I don't actually know what words take S's anymore, or did I ever? Define Fix It spot. Oh, Fix It does take an S, excuse me. Okay. All right, so Keg for 37. Nice scoring play from Grubb. He's got the lead now. Dixit's also takes an S? I don't know. I feel like something doesn't take an S that looks like it would that's like that. I don't know. All right. So Grubb now ahead by 6. Very close game. He's got kind of an awkward rack. He could just play like, I don't know, Gats for 22. That can't be right. He plays Gauzes for 20. Sort of a defensive play. You're killing off any potential bingos through the E or the Z later. And, So Grubb's ahead by 26, and now Day is looking at perhaps no bingo, but there's definitely some ways to score a little bit. Yeah, Omit looks like a strong play. 35 points for Omit, keeping DENT, a pretty good leave, and... Oh, Fix It used to be Collins only. Okay. So Jesse up by 9. Chris is looking at difficult position here. He could play Van, which is where Jesse Day lives. He could play Vor. Okay, Vor keeping NOST, a pretty strong leave, and Counted doesn't play. Uncolted just barely doesn't fit through this L. Looks like Ducento doesn't fit either. Yeah, not a lot of bingos available on this board. This is tough. All right, Jesse's just going to blow it up. 27 points for Cento, keeping DU. And looks like more unplayable bingos. Positon, Potions, nothing is going to go down. This is a tough board for both players. Chris Grubb is getting pretty low on time. Man with a Van was Magnus Carlsen. Nice, nice. All right, what's going on here? What can Grubb do? I don't think there's any bingo. It's a close game. You're down by 26. You don't have to bingo necessarily. Yeah, point. Just blow it up and score well. 28 points for that. And, ooh, more unplayable bingos. Gurdwara almost plays, but it makes AOS, which is only Aerolith on stream, not an actual word. Oh, yeah, you could have played Option. That's interesting. Yeah, you could have played Option right here in column 15. It's a good point by James. All right, so Drug for 25 and Adu for 35. Grubb catching up a little bit. He takes the lead by 12. Both players pretty low on time. Grubb is over. Jesse's got still 15 seconds left. And this is tough. Still a fairly difficult board to bingo on, but there are potentially bingos in lines 10, 11, 12 here. If you draw the right rack. 7 in the bag. If this game doesn't come down to bingoing, Grubb's got a small advantage, but, you know, Jesse's got the W. He's got some interesting scoring potential. Ooh, Wallabaz. That's a word? Wow. Oh, yeah, also Kvetch. Good call. Potentially, if you make the blank a K, you could bingo there. We know that Jesse's got a blank, and Chris also might draw one. There's a blank unseen so far. Oh, no blank for Chris. Jesse plays was, giving him a small lead, and there's still a blank in the bag. Maybe he'll draw it. Jesse doesn't draw it. There's still a blank unseen with 2 in the bag. Grubb's up by 18. Day is now looking at not a lot of time, 25 seconds. Yeah, not a very good draw, that's for sure. So what do you do here? Besides, don't flag, don't flag. 15 seconds left. He plays Lum, setting up Alum. If he can get a bingo with the A in 6th place out of 7, which is hard to do. He could draw Danelaw, maybe, if he draws the E. Wow, he did draw Danelaw, but it got blocked. Wow, so Ascoy making Kvetch a beautiful play, killing bingos, and putting Grubb ahead. Wow, what a play by Chris Grubb. That's so cool. Ascoy scores 25 and blocks bingos, and McGrathian times out. Jesse loses the game. Wow. Nice play under time pressure by Chris to get the win. Just beautiful. So Chris Grubb gets the win and ties the match 1-1. If you're just joining us, Jesse Day is playing for his tournament life. He must win this match. He must win 5 games out of 9 to advance to the playoffs. He is out if he loses. And he's now tied 1-1 with Chris Grubb. So Jackson Smylie earlier tonight got the win in his match. 7-2 over Jennifer Clinchy. And now Jackson is 7-2. He will advance by passing Jesse in the standings. And Jesse must win this match to stay alive. So 1-1 on to game 3. In this must-win match for Jesse, and it is Chris Grubb first here in Game 3. I want to say Amarato is not a word, but I'm never sure of these things. Amarato, yeah, not found. It's in Amarato, right? But not just Amarato. Okay. All right, Amateur for 22 seems like a fine play. Just blow up the rack, and it looks like Jesse will bingo. Ooh, Amateur is not a word. Forgot about that minor detail. All right, so Amateur comes off, and it'll just be Jesse to open with his rack of Selvage or Geneva's. Yeah, Geneva's comes down, and what does Chris Grubb do now? Down by 78 early, and he's got this overly vowel-heavy rack. Ooh, Josh has played in Amarato. That's very cool. All right, what do you do here? What do you do here? The V makes for difficult overlapping. Ooh, Varoom, that's a word. I like that. Varoom suggested by Josh looks like a strong option. And indeed, Grubb finds it. 22 points for Varoom. And is Sontags a word? Yeah, Sontags is good. So, Varoom. Ooh, Snotrag's also a word. Probably not the best play, but 65 is a bingo. He'll take it. And Liperite is the bingo here for Grubb. I'm not sure if there's much else to think about. Looks like Liperite is the only choice. There are 2 spots for it, but it's pretty obvious which one's better. You take the double word score every time. 70 points for Liperite. Grubb, though, is taking his time, which makes me worry he's not seeing it. If you see Liperite, you just put it. Is Lipe all right? Yeah, so the longer Chris Grubb takes here, the more I worry that he's missing Liperite, because it's a pretty obvious play if you see the word. Yeah, I mean, speaking as somebody who missed Illyria for the win last night, I can't really talk about high probability bingos. These things happen. You miss stuff, especially in Blitz. It happens. All right, so sadly, Liperite is indeed missed, and Spirit for 27 instead. So Grubb is well behind here after the phony and the missed bingo, and Jesse is looking to go up 2-1 here. Ooh, Blanket would have been very cool. Blanket would have been a monster bingo from Jesse, but he plays Qua instead. That is a miss. It's a pretty big one. But Jesse is still well ahead either way. Hey, yeah, Josh, you show off your knowledge. You've earned that knowledge. Yeah, 137. Holy cow. That would have been a monster bingo. Would have doubled Jesse's lead from 137 to 274. Something like that. All right, so Grubb is now down by a boatload. 107 plus whatever Jesse scores this turn. And I'm seeing like Buff and Fub, all sorts of options. Actually, wait, how do you spell Buff? It's like that, right? B-O-E-U-F? Yeah, so you can play Buff. Oh, Sobful, is that a word? Sobful. Wow, very cool. Sobful for 42. Nice play. It's challenging, it's good. Nice. So Chris is not going to bingo with this rock, I don't think. No A for mandolin. And really not much else you can play besides that. So you need to bingo like 4 times, so you might want to keep those open. But yeah, it's going to be tough. Going to be tough here for Chris Grubb. He's down by a whole lot, and just not much to be done here. The thing about a word like Sobful is you're not going to play it very often, but when you can play it, it's probably the best play, right? All right, so dummying for 18, just kind of opening a new part of the board, which is pretty useful when you need to bingo several times. But Jesse's just going to score and balance and kill off board real estate. That play of I is going to make it very hard to bingo through any of those tiles up there. And Jesse is just in total control. Ahead on the scoreboard, ahead on the clock, and controlling the board as well. So Jesse's looking to go up 2-1. Dead sixes are fun words for some people. Me personally, I can't stand them. They're just too weird. For some reason I like studying bingos way more. My brain just finds sixes strange. I think the thing about studying though is just study whatever you're comfortable with, really, because it's a lot better to study whatever words you are comfortable with than to study no words at all. And if you're just like bored or just like disillusioned with studying, you're just going to quit doing it. So I'm all for studying anything you enjoy studying, even if it's not like the most optimal thing ever to study. Just do it. All right, Chris Grubb is in trouble still here. He is down by a whole lot and in danger of flagging as well. I suppose Team Resign gets a little bit stronger each time a game like this happens, because obviously resignation would be called for in this situation, but Chris Grubb is being noble and playing this out, and I appreciate him for it, I guess. Resign gang, rise up. There you go. I see right behind you in the chat, who of course is a co-creator of Woogles. I'm sure he is a big fan of that resign button that he himself helped make. The good news is I don't think spread matters anymore for these players. So if they were to resign, it wouldn't really matter. But don't tell them that. Wow, look at those aggressive words in the chat for being anti-resigning. Foolhardy. Wow, how dare you. All right, anyway, Chris Grubb does indeed lose game 2. And it is 2-1 Jesse, with Jesse playing for his tournament life. And we got 6 games still to play. Jesse must win just 3 out of the 6 to lock up his spot in the playoffs. All right, game 4 starts now, and Jesse with kind of an awkward rack, but he does have the blank. All right, so Jesse will just exchange all 6, keeping the blank. Back in the bag goes B-I-I-I-O-O. And he draws much better on the second try. I see tokening. I see, is there a double-double through the A? Looks like non-image Ganoins don't quite fit the double-double. Negation, that's a word. Good job. Josh, you're so fast. You can mutter the word resign. I don't mind. All right, Tenonin comes down. Very nice. Not as nice as negation, but pretty nice anyway. All right, so agaric is a word. What else is a word? There's not a lot of words here. This is a strange draw for Chris. Is there a way to play agaric or something? Okay, Kaiing, that's nice. Gets rid of 2 of your A's. And interesting draw for Jesse. No S for ravished, but I'm sure he can score okay with his H and his V somewhere. Oh, it looks like Hive Word was blocked through that W and wafted. Yeah. Yeah, very sad indeed. It now makes Hive Word C. Ooh, Vihara, a very cool word. So Vihara for 24, keeping a pretty good lead as well of DE. And let's see here. What do you have now for Chris? Some sort of brap or something. He just plays bra, okay. So bra for 21, keeping AAPRS. And it's back to Jesse, who's up by a little bit here. Both players kind of drawing awkward racks and trying to play through them. Both of them with kind of duplicated consonants that are just kind of strange, and they're scoring okay, though. 21 points for each of them, bra and then do for Jesse. And now what? Chris has 3 A's, and Maybe you should play like ABBA here, 28, and gets rid of those A's. That's what he does. Okay, and Storm. Oh, Mortis. Mortis comes down through the I in Vihara, and that's going to open up a triple, which I don't believe is going to be usable for Chris here. He's got Stratman. There you go. I think Partans is the actual word you got to play here, right? Anagram, Tarpans. Oh yeah, Tarpans, Partans, Trapans, yeah. Yeah, so Partans and Tarpans both play. All right, Tarpans comes down, and oh my gosh, it's Jewy or blank. I don't even know what to say about that. I think Jewy came up in Will and Benji's match earlier, if I recall correctly. What do we have here that's actually a word? Mojo is a possibility, and yeah, Mojo is played by Jesse, keeping EIR blank, a very strong leave. So Jesse with a very good chance of bingoing, which would put him in a pretty solid position here. Already up 56 and likely to bingo soon. Interesting draw for Chris. Doesn't look like a bingo quite, but I'm sure there's some ways to score a little bit. Oh yeah, Ice Blink. That's a cool word. Doesn't have the B, unfortunately. Let's see here. What can you do? What can you do? Down by 56. Kiln's a pretty good score. Nice 32 for Kiln. I like it. Oh, and Jesse draws badly. That's going to make things interesting. He has to exchange. So he just trades the EII that he just drew, keeping EIR blank again. So basically a lost turn. And now let's see what Chris can do with that lost turn. He's getting into time trouble, which is going to be a concern here. He's also down by 20, what is that? 34 points. And little does he know that his opponent's got a very strong rack. EIR, blank, and 3 other tiles. So a tough spot here for Chris. He's going to play CAD, setting up a bingo lane. And I see Xenurine as one option here for Jesse. Probably others as well. Oh, Unsexier, there you go. Unsexier for 94, and not a very good draw for... Oh no, Noisette plays. Noisette is the bingo here. Oh yeah, Toeist is better than Noisette. Okay, 75 points for Toeist. And so Jesse is still ahead. Unsexier doubled the X for 94, maximum score there. And Jesse is also going to score with the Z here. Wiz is 43 more. So Jesse in good shape, as Chris has drawn pretty awkward tiles. The F and the Q are not going to be good for him here. And can you bingo eventually? I mean, there's still 8 in the bag. But let's see, he plays plea, keeping EMQ, leaving 4 in the bag, and it's not looking good for Chris here. Only down by 40, but he's not going to have a very good rack in the endgame, I don't think. So, what can be done here? Clock ticking on Jesse here. He's down to 1 second. He plays Duns for 12, and yeah, pretty disastrous draw for Chris. He can play Lexine, which puts him close, but he's still got that Q. Actually, he does have QI here. Hold on a second. He's got QI for 31. If I could type the Q. No, I can't type the Q because he doesn't have it on his rack here. So let's see here. Chris is going to get 31, putting him at 429. Oh, he gets it blocked. I see. So Jesse blocks QI. And the next best QI spot is a lot worse. He just has 11 for this. It looks like Jesse's going to get enough here. Although it's going to be close still. What can Jesse play? Grubb has 5 seconds. So Lure is 18. Set is 15. And wow, Jesse wins by 3. Crazy endgame, and Jesse Day wins the game by 3 points, 429, 426, and Jesse moves to 3-1, getting 1 step closer to the playoffs. He needs 2 more wins to lock it down. What a crazy game. This was just really tense the whole way, and Jesse sneaks out with a 3-point win. 429, 426. Hello to Deldar. Chris Grubb, who are you? Chris Grubb's a very strong player. He's in the same city as me, in Seattle, Washington, in the northwest U.S., and rated very high up there, like 1,900, almost 2,000 rated player. He had a very good chance of making the playoffs out of this group, but just came up a little bit short with a loss against Jackson last week. And Chris has a chance now to play spoiler against Jesse Day and knock him out of the playoffs. If you're just joining us, Jesse Day needs a win in this match to make the playoffs. If he loses, it'll be Jackson, Smylie, and Janul De Silva advancing from this group instead. Do or die for Jesse Day. Yeah, there's no relaxing nights. This is week 9. You can't relax, Lola. I'm sorry. Just every night is a do or die situation for somebody, whether it's Jesse or Jackson or just who knows. We're gonna have Paul Gallen and Piotr Andronowski later this weekend. There's just very tense, very important matches for everybody every night, it seems. All right, so Shiremen for set 67 is the opening bingo for Jesse, and Chris has a difficult rack. Who can find a bingo here? Yeah, it seems like there would be one, but I don't see it. Do you see it, Eldar? I don't know. Let's ask the bot. Anagram. Anagram this. Oh, glaucoma does not play. No G or no L. Comatula does not play either. Looks like no actual bingo plays, huh? All right, so Moa instead of bingoing for Chris, because I guess that's all he's got, and Guayacom, interesting. Sounds like a defunct tech company. All right, so both players have a blank, but they have horrible tiles with those blanks. And we'll see who can bingo first. Ooh, Avicular, nice play by Chris. Avicular. Pertaining to birds, and I believe it takes an N for navicular, is that right? I think the navicular bone is a bone. Yeah, it's in the wrist. Okay. So setting up an N hook that might come in handy. Jesse's rack is good with the exception of that Q. Does he have like equalota? No, there's no 9 there. Naviculaire, navicularies. Oh my gosh, these are crazy words. Maybe Chris and Jesse know them. We'll see. So you can play avicular and fish it, hook it 3 times with multiple bingos. I like that. All right, so Chris Grubb is getting into time trouble a little bit. He's got a minute 6 left, and he plays Equali and If for 25 finally. But yeah, time's going to be an issue. Ooh, Teensy. Teensy is pretty cool. If I could find the actual spot where it plays. Like this, yeah. So Teensy for 85. Oh, Equalities isn't good? Oh my god, I'm sorry. I don't know anything. Sad. So does Teensy play or not then? Probably not. No, 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 indeed. Well, okay, if you can't bingo, what can you do here? You're down by quite a bit. Yet for 22 makes it a little bit closer. 15-point game now. And Jesse still has his blank. This is a fun draw. You got the H and the P and the Z in the blank. What can you do with it, though? I'm not seeing anything that great. Just like HE for 30, that can't be the best play. Ooh, Zitzi. That is cool. Nice find by Josh. That seems worth it. 68. All right. Che for 23 is not bad either. You keep your Z in your blank for later. And Seeking, I guess, doesn't play because Chris plays Tisking right away. Oh yeah, Fey is a verb to clean out a ditch. Okay. Unfortunately, no spot for Pretzel. What do you actually play here? No spot for Trapeze. Yeah, this is tough. Both players under a minute now. All right, so just Zep for 29 seems fine, keeping ERT blank. You'll probably bingo pretty soon. Dilute comes down, and ooh, is there a triple? Probably not. Predated doesn't quite fit the D in the right spot. Departed, same thing. Deported. Yeah, those are the bingos. Okay, so deported for 89, and this looks like almost a bingo, but not quite. No spot for cilantro or clarinet or anything. Chris is getting low on time. He's going to go over his 3 minutes with 1 minute now to go, and he plays catnip for 20. So Jesse's ahead by basically a one-turn tempo advantage here. Wow, clavicular is also good. Oh, these are crazy words. Subclavicular. Oh my gosh. It'll be a crying shame if there's no extensions in this game here. You got to extend navicular once. Wow, you think clavicular was best keeping AINRT? That's not bad. Nigel would, of course, find everything. Key Lime Guy flexing with his medical knowledge. Look at that. All right, so a 40-point lead for Jesse. It's Chris on turn. He's running low on time. 40 seconds till he flags. He could just play like Claw or something from the C and Catnip to pry things open a little bit if he wants to. This is over. Come on, David. That's harsh. He could still come back. See, look, Jesse's got a bad rack. He's getting low on time himself. Things can happen. Where are he? And then if you bingo, you know, it's possible. I mean, yeah, timing out's going to be an issue. Timing out's an issue. He's got Enderton and Dragon here, but does he even have time to look in this spot? I don't know. Ooh, very sad, very sad. Nah, blocking Enderton and Dragon. You do not want to block bingos here when you're down by 40. Unfortunate play. Very unfortunate play. So what's going to happen now? We've got Jesse getting a little bit low on time himself. And just a tough situation here. So voted for 34 comes down. And then Knox for 35 from Chris, who is still a turn behind. He needs to get a bingo, I think, and it's going to be hard to do. Jesse also very low on time. He's got 15 seconds left. Both players in flagging danger here. Got to play something, Jesse. He plays lobs. Both players playing very fast now. Can Jesse go out? He can go out. Nogs and Sun, and that should do it. All right, so Jesse holds on for the win, and he is now 4-1. Whew. Weird game. Both players getting low on time, but Jesse pulls it out in the end. And so Jesse Day improves to 4-1, and he is now 1 win away from the playoffs. So a very tense playoff race could come to its conclusion now as Jesse is 1 win away from sealing the deal. We're going on now to game number 6 with Jesse 1 win away. All right. Game 6, and Bereft is the opening play from Jesse, and not a very good rack for Chris. 2 U's, 2 I's, a W, all sorts of junk. And how do you play through it? Not easy to do. This is hard. Change and GG. Maybe just change or GG. You could exchange and draw bingo or something. Things can happen. Things can happen. All right, Chris Grubb exchanges 5, keeping DI. You could just trade all 7 there. But he keeps DI. That's the choice, apparently. Play a phony and resign. What are you doing? What are you doing? Play a phony and resign. All right, 4A. Nice play by Jesse. He's up 60-0, and it's going to be a tough board with the 2 overlapping words, making things a little bit hard to overlap and hard to play through. So a good position for Jesse early, but let's see what Chris Grubb can do to come back. So, this is tough. What can you do here? Maybe just like Sid, keeping AILS, scoring a little bit. Is there a better option than that? Okay, Cotty is 30 points. I like that. 30. Better than what I saw. And back to Jesse, who's got kind of a difficult rack now. 6 consonants. Not a lot of synergy, although, you know, the NRS is good. But how do you play through this? Not easy to do. Could just play like Huns, 27, keep LNR. I don't know. Oh yeah, no and oboe. Seems not bad. LNRS. So Jesse is thinking it over. Not the easiest rack to decide on. Jesse's been very inconsistent with the clock. He's been very fast some games, very slow others. But let's see what he can do here. Yeah, both players taking their time. These boards that start out, you know, kind of closed early are difficult to make fast decisions on. All right, so Hun for 24, keeping LNRS. And the first blank goes to Chris. Tough, though. What do you do? I think paid is a word, right? Like define paid. Yeah, so you could play off the P and the D that way. Okay, or dip. Dip, though, gets rid of your one vowel. I might have preferred paid. And now we've got another rack of a bunch of one-pointers for Jesse, and you want to play pretty fast here. You're getting pretty low on time. But what's the play? Okay, finale. That's nice. Keeping NRS. Good leave. And Gillett's comes down. The first bingo of the game for Chris. 70 for that. And the lead. Snortier is a playable bingo here through the I. Is Snortier the only bingo? It might be. Huh. So Jesse taking his time, but I think he's got to play Snortier, right? Is there anything else? All right, he does play it. Snortier for 59, and 2 M's, 2 T's, 2 U's. Almost a full house. He's got 3 pairs. Chris can just play like Umu or Utu or something. This would be pretty solid. He challenges Snortier, comes back good. Oh, Mumu and Sud, that's very strong. Yeah, there you go. Mumu and Sud looks very good, 30 points, and get rid of those U's and M's. 3 pair is really good in Raz, nice. I haven't played Raz in a minute. It's a fun game, though. That's the poker where it's like the worst hand wins, right? All right, Mute instead of Mumu. That's a strange choice, but only a little bit worse, I guess. Who has ever seen a single Sud? I don't. What does a Sud look like? I don't know. I'm a poker player, Eldar. Yeah. Heads up for rolls right now. Let's go. JK. All right. Cuddy for 28 for Jesse here. So Jesse up by a little bit here, looking for the 5th win he needs to win this match. But Grubb can keep pace here. 36 points for Grubb time here with Tummy and keeping this close. Verbina's nice bingo from Jesse, and he's got himself almost a 100-point lead as he closes in on the playoffs. So Chris is down by quite a bit, but time's going to be a factor for both players. You got to worry about time for sure. Also, Chris is not going to stop scoring. Nix is 40. He's back in this. 43 points for Wed. And looks like no bingo, but you can play Vogue for a decent score from this V in the corner. Anything else to think about? Like Angulos won't quite play because SA is not a word. All right, Vogue is the choice from Chris. He's within a bingo. If he can get a bingo soon, he is keeping good leaves. ANS is solid. All All right, he plays Op for 19, and ooh, this looks like something. Maybe it's not anything. Scalding would make, nope, that would go off the board. Can't play Scalding. Can't play Dancings. Difficult spot here for Chris. He plays Gan, and Jesse instantly plays right back, so both players speeding up as they have to here. Jesse leads by 37. And, ooh, almost has Terzetti, but not quite. Wow, card casing, that's cool. Oh my god, did card casing actually? Okay, no, it's not a word. Sad. Had me for a second there, Will. I was pretty tricked by that. All right, Z for 48. Nice play by Jesse, and he takes a pretty commanding lead. It looks like he's going to lock this down. Final seconds ticking away here. Don't flag here if you're Jesse. That's the goal here. Don't flag. Up by 90 points. Can't lose unless you flag. 9 seconds left, though. 8. He plays Tot, and it looks like he's going to go out. No, he's not going to go out. IIR's not going anywhere. Ooh, Grubb flags, actually. Okay. In messy, time-scrambled fashion, Jesse Day gets the win, and Jesse improves to 5-1. So Jesse wins the match, and he will advance to the playoffs. Congrats to Jesse Day. Looking at the Chipmunk standings, so Jackson Smylie earlier tonight won his match, but unfortunately for Jackson, he'll come up just short. It'll be Janul 8-1, Jesse 8-1, and Jackson in third place at 7-2. And Chris Grubb will finish fourth place in his group. So dramatic finish, but Jesse Day gets the win. Let's play a couple more games just for funsies, because you know we like Scrabble, right? We like Scrabble. All right, so Jesse will go to the playoffs, and he will probably face one of the higher up there seeds, since he's going to be player 2 out of this group. Janul De Silva just demolishing everybody in his path pretty much. I think he beat everybody but Chris Grubb in this group. Janul will be the first place finisher in this group, and Jesse second. All right, so 3 more games, and let's see here. Jesse's got a vowel heavy rack to open. He's got Apian plus a couple more vowels. He could just play like Nagapi and just blow it all up. Nagapi for 20 seems reasonable. Ooh, Lola, good question. Yeah, the scoreboards don't matter anymore, really. There is no tie-breaking of any kind in the playoffs because it's just a straight bracket. The bracket's going to be 16 players, single elimination. You just win each match or go home. It's that simple. So yeah, there's no more spread. There's no more anything. It's just you win your match and that's it. So really, as long as Jesse makes the playoffs, which he now does, it doesn't matter how he performed in the playoff in the pool play. It is a clean slate for the round of 16. All right, so Paya instead of Nagapi. Kind of a strange play because you're keeping a lot of vowels, but looks like he's going to be okay. Unsailed bails him out. Unsailed for 60, and Chris Grubb not drawing that well either. Let's see here. He plays Outwits, just blowing up the rack. Seems like a strong play, and both Ys have been drawn by Jesse. He can play them with just like Yay or something. 22 points for Yay seems okay. Or Yay there for 26. That leaves Tuberos as an option. Tuberos would play here. Is there anything else to consider? Probably not. He just plays Tuberos. So let's see here. Jesse is now down by 42. He's got the Y for some scoring. Unfortunately, he can't play Yaley, even though he was a Yaley, went to Yale. Not a valid word in the dictionary. He had a massive score, though, in that hotspot, huh? All right, looks like Wox is a word you might want to consider if you are Chris. Actually, I guess just Ox is better than playing Wox anywhere else, because 50 points is 50 points. Probably better to play Ox than Wox. Actually, Wox is 47. Maybe Wox is better. Yeah, Wox keeping DEPS is pretty strong here. Decent chance to bingo. Oh, Wex at 4J. I didn't see that one. What's 4J? Oh yeah, Wex there looks pretty strong as well, so plenty of options. Also Pox, 53 points for Pox, keeping your S, not bad for Chris. Okay, so probably want to find a spot for On or Juan or something. Like you can play Juan here for 22. Okay, Naw for 30, that's even better. Nice play. So Chris Grubb has the lead here, but Jesse is on turn, only down by 51. He's got an interesting rack. He's got some flexibility with scoring and fishing for a bingo pretty soon, I think. Rez scores 34, keeping a good leave, and didn't draw anything yet, I don't think, but he'll have some options. What do you do with this? You have a nice little fit of Reg for 16 points, making era. Seems like an okay option. You could also, if you want to open the board a little bit, you could play Piglet. Kind of give yourself some more options for bingos in this bottom left corner of the board. Be definitely an interesting choice when you're down by a bingo. Okay, Regal keeps things a little bit more closed than Piglet would have, but it is 28 points, and he is definitely competitive in this game, bingo or no bingo. Oh yeah, Relegated goes off the board. Okay, so Treason is the bingo from Chris Grubb, and Chris is now ahead by more than 100. But Jesse's got some scoring tiles here. Focus 27, and he'll try to get back in this. But Chris draws the blank. There are 2 blanks not yet on the board. Chris draws one of the 2. Let's define tuberoses. Tuberoses is good. So Shriven plays making tuberoses. Ooh, that's missed, unfortunately, but Kiev is going to set up a big old spot. You can play Kiev with an E or Kievs. And it looks like Jesse can't do much about it. Maybe he'll play something. Is Binted? Oh, Blight. Okay. I'm not sure if Binted is good. Define Binted. Not found. Okay. Blight's better then because it's a word. All right, so Chris Grubb is up by 59, and on turn, he's got the blank. He's got one of the 2. Jesse's got the other one. Or wait, no, Jesse doesn't have a blank. We don't know that. Just kidding. Jesse might have a blank. So let's see here. Where can you play these tiles? They're pretty gross. You could just play like HM. But plays Moors, burning the blank, 26. Hoping to draw the other blank, I suppose, and he also kills a lot of bingos by playing in that spot. That's interesting. But I don't know. There are still bingos, of course, down here making treasons. They're going to score less. You can probably outrun any bingo that plays from 13D. Moors is a weird-looking play, but I don't know. Might be worth doing. Wow, Crumhorn, cool word. Didn't play, right? There was no K or U available. But still very cool. All right, so with 2 in the bag, Jesse could try to fish for something. I mean, is there any chance that like Mew leads to a bingo for you? I don't see it happening. He's going to try OU, and oh man, I think he's going to get smacked pretty hard here. Zunes here is 75, and that'll be the final dagger. Wow, Josh is putting in work. Josh, when was the last night that you didn't stream? I feel like you've streamed every night for the last like 6 months. It's probably only a slight exaggeration, right? All right, Zunes does come down indeed, and that is 75 for Chris, and it's going to be a pretty easy win in the end as things get out of hand late here for Jesse. In time trouble as well. He plays around, and looks like Chris will not flag. He's going to play tiles pretty quickly, and your final score is Chris Grubb 475, Jesse Day 330, and Chris gets a win to make it 5-2. We'll have 2 more matches, and then we will take a quick recap of the night's action, and then we will sign off and see you again tomorrow. All right, game number 8. Jesse Day has Jewship, right? That's a word, I think. 110 points. Oh, he just plays Jew. Sad. All right, so Jew for 26. And Jewship not found, sadly. Okay, Wares, could have played Zap also, would be an option there, but Wares is 37, not bad at all. And let's see, what do we have here? Something like Hum. Or Hop. Maybe Hop, setting up your S for some kind of play here next turn. Seems like an interesting choice, but I'm sure there's other options as well. Jesse really taking his time. Maybe he's going to play Phonism. Belief in phonies. I think Jesse is a believer in phonism. Phonism and where's his S? Like this. Seems like a Jesse play. Alright, he plays Mop. That's more normal. Chris has Isotope here. I would expect to see Isotope come down, or maybe something else that makes Mope or something that hooks onto the W here. Oh yeah, Biotope's a word. There you go. Biotope is totally reasonable here. Oh yeah, Biotope plays here if you're willing to make Zoe, which is a brand of yogurt. Whoa, what was that? Yeah, so if we're playing yogurt pods, you can play Zoe. All right. Ooh, Oop is played. Missing Isotope and Biotope. Sad. Oh, so Joel's pointing out that it could have been Jew's hip rather than Jew ship. Okay. Didn't think of that. Benji, you missed Miserly. How dare you? Do better. It's okay. I missed Illyria to bingo out and win a game against Conrad last night. These things happen. All right, so eatery is a word. What else is a word here? Airiest. I think that's good, right? Airiest? Yeah, that comes down. Airiest for 75. Nice play, Chris Grubb. Oh yeah, Elshin, that would have been cool. Elshin would have been a really cool play. All right, so what to be done here? No vowel for something like non-lives or enlivens. Kind of a sad board here for this rack if you are Jesse. Oh my God, Benji with the worst pun of all time, and that's saying something. All right, 75 for Arius, and now it's Jesse on turn, down by a bingo. Not going to have one on this turn, I don't think, but what can he do here? He plays Ninja, just 13 points. Gotta play something. You're getting pretty low on time here. Ooh, big spot for Flux. Oh, he plays Uglify, keeping his X. That's crazy. Uglify is 47. You got the X hotspot for next turn. And that's really cool. So Jesse plays the Q, and then Grubb gets the X for a big play. 54 points. Nice. So 243 to 130. All of a sudden, Chris Grubb takes a pretty big lead. Beautiful sequence of Uglify followed by Ducks. 101 points in 2 turns there, but Jesse bingos, Levance for 74, and he's back in this thing. So this almost looks like a bingo, maybe not quite. Cake for 39. Nice score from Chris Grubb, who just has not stopped scoring every single turn. 40, 50, 50, 40. Doesn't even need to bingo that much, really. What does he have here? This looks like almost something, but maybe not quite. Ooh, Goons and then Editable for Jesse. So Editable puts Jesse right back in this. Chris has Reasoner. He's got, Groaners. Groaners is a word. Groaners for 77 and a big lead again. So it looks like he's going to be safe here. Ooh, Benji has more puns. I am intrigued but also terrified. Oh, God, you have more puns, but they're groaners. It was a meta groaner. It was a groaner about groaners. That's terrible. Oh, man. Benji, you should come with a parental advisory. As in, advisory, you sound like a dad. All right, diff for 30 from Chris Grubb. He's up by over 100 still. Looking like he's going to get his third win here. Thanks, Josh. I try. I try to be a little bit more sparing with the puns and like only use them when I really like them. Whereas Benji's just like an automatic, like, I don't know, like a machine gun firing puns everywhere. Wow. It's the key line guy with the reference to Dick Groat, a baseball player from like 80 years ago. That's impressive. Dick Groat, that is a blast from the past. Wow. All right, final score is Chris Grubb 482, Jesse Day 442. Chris gets the win, and it is 5-3. Jesse with one game still to play. All right, so 5-3, one game left, and then we will kind of recap things up and sign off and call it a night. All right, so game number 9 coming up, and maybe these players are taking a quick breather between games 8 and 9. Yeah, I think Wiggles has like 15 eyes in the bag. It's just like I every turn. It just seems a little bit out of whack. Bug or feature discuss. What's to discuss? Eyes are terrible. What's your counterpoint? Oh my god, they played editable twice. I didn't even see that. That's awesome. Editable and editable are on this board. That's crazy. Hey Jesse, congrats on the win. Congrats on advancing in the playoffs. You do know you have one game left, right? I guess we're waiting on Chris to show up for that last game. Ooh, re-editable becomes deliberate. Very cool. Isn't it 5-3, Jesse? Don't you have one more game? Or am I just like crazy? Okay, here we go. Game 9. Apparently Jesse realized he had one more game. Jesse promised that he wouldn't watch here. I think he's an honorable guy. I mean, he is playing for a massive prize pool of $0, so like I can see the temptation to cheat, but hopefully he's a good guy and doesn't do that. Also, if he cheats, then his cheating algorithm will catch himself, right? I think that's how that works. All right, Paul for 24 is the play by Jesse, and we are underway with the 9th and final game. Jesse at this point just playing for seeding, trying to get his final record as good as possible to improve his seed in the bracket. He will be one of the 16 final players playing for the Blitz Championship. We've got a lot of players that have already qualified for the bracket. I believe we've got Andrew Fisher and Dave Wiegand out of one group. We've got Edward Oculus and Chris May out of one group. We got Will and Benji out of one group. We got one group with Austin Shin and Aaron Bader. We got one group with looking like Conrad Bessel-Bichard and Jacob Teitelbaum are the favorites, but it's not over quite yet in that group for sure. So a lot of the field of 16 has been decided, but not all of it quite yet. There's going to be a dramatic finish this weekend in the Falcon group, as I think there's going to be 4 players fighting for 2 spots. We've got Piotr Andronowski, Paul Gallen, Irfan Siddiqui, and Matthew O'Connor all in that race. It's going to be fun to watch. A lot of other races kind of still hanging in the balance. There is a grudge match between Wei Bin To and David Eldar, with only one of them advancing. That's going to be pretty epic. So a lot still to be determined, but we do know that Jesse Day is moving on to the playoffs. So final game here, and Jesse is taking his time to decide what to do with this rack. I don't think there's any bingo here. Yeah, so David Eldar is currently 7-1, and he is tied with Wei Bin To and Anand Bardwaj, who are also 7-1, both of them. And Anand has got an easier pairing. He's playing the bottom seed in his group, so Anand will probably be 8-1. And the playoff players will probably be Anand and the winner of Eldar Wei Bin. So it's just crazy the good players that are not going to make it. Like Jackson and Chris from this group didn't make the playoffs. One of Wei Bin and Eldar is not going to make it. Pete Armstrong and I are both getting knocked out of our group. There's just a lot of sadness all around. A lot of players who thought they had a chance are going to get sent home early. Oh, Eldar is playing Age of Empires on his channel? That's cool. I would never, ever mention you as a good player, Josh. Don't worry. There is no concern about that. I'm just kidding. No, Josh, you had a great tournament. I really enjoyed watching you beat Paul Gallen while playing 2 tournaments at once. That was really cool. And Josh, your group is like super crazy right now. There's like 4 people who could make it. It's going to be a bonkers final Saturday. Okay. Oh yeah, Pellerine or Eolien, all sorts of options here for triples, and Jesse does find one. Eolien for 113. And he gets Fuji to turn after for another strong score, 35. So Jesse Day in good shape here, looking to make it a 6-3 win. All right, so Targa for 23 comes down. Oh, it's Benji versus Austin. Oh, that's going to be fun. I'm going to bet under 0, I think. Push. I'll go exactly 0. I'm being generous. All right, Pity for 23. Jesse is in pretty good shape here, up by a bingo, and it's not a very easy board to come back on. You might try for like an 8 ending in T here or Y here, but it's going to be pretty tough. All right, so Jesse is up by quite a bit, but he's got to keep on making valid words here. He can't just like sit and run out the clock. This is a hard board to play anything. What can he do here? He of course wants to avoid opening anything for his opponent, but that's pretty tough. Like if you play your Z with Zo, then you're opening up, you know, Azo and Zo, and that's not going to go well for you. So I'm sure he's looking for a way to, you know, score on balance and not open things up for his opponent, which is just tough. It's just tough. Okay, he plays sits. That looks pretty good. You know, bingos into a T don't concern you because you already had bingos into a T with Pity. So you're not really opening any new bingo lines, and you're scoring pretty well. Yeah, see, now Chris has drawn Inducts, and it goes nowhere, so just a hard position here for Chris Grubb, down by 89. And this is difficult. So Cub for 14 opens things up a little bit, I guess. You can try and bingo from the C. Not easy to do, though. Okay, potential bingo here in line M if you get something ending in ED or something. All right, so Jesse plays nah. That's going to make it a little bit harder to bingo. And well, actually, QI is going to make it a lot harder. So both players just kind of giving up and just letting the board close up, it looks like. Difficult position here for Chris, who's behind by a bingo, and for Jesse, who just needs to, like, you know, not flag and whatnot. Jesse's ahead by, what is that, 68 or something? But it's just a tough board. So Jesse plays O's, just opening it up. And Moderns doesn't quite fit. Looks like no bingo. So we're playing up the final tiles in a very sad ninth game here, as Chris Grubb is at 257 as we enter the end game. Just a weird, weird game. All right, it's going to end in a timeout, and Jesse Day does get the win by a final score of 6-3. Okay. Before we sign off, I'll take a quick look at the final standings in this group. So these are the Chipmunks and Jesse Day, with the win tonight, improves from 7-1 to 8-1. Chris Grubb falls to 6-3. So these are your match records. We've got Janul da Silva 8-1, Jesse Day 8-1. It'll be Janul and Jesse moving on to the playoffs from the Chipmunk group, as Jackson and Chris Grubb are knocked out in a very contentious final week. Congrats to Jackson and Chris, though. It was a very hard-fought tournament for both of them, and they both had their chances to move on. But in the end, it is Janul and Jesse advancing out of the Chipmunk group. They will go on to the bracket of 16 players, and we will find out soon who they play. We don't know yet. Taking a look at the schedule for the rest of the weekend, not the rest of the weekend, actually, just for like the next day and a half. I can't fit the whole thing. But the next day and a half or so, we're going to have a bunch of matches throughout. We're going to have Anand is playing against Madhav in a few hours, and if Anand wins, he's going on to the playoffs from the Aardvark group. We've got Andrew Fisher and Dave Wiegand on this very channel, this same time tomorrow night. The winner of that match will be the #1 seed out of the Giraffe group, and the loser will be second. Both players will advance regardless. And then another very important match you see down here, where Paul Gallen is playing Pyotr Andronowski. We have no streamer for that one yet, but I'm going to try to find somebody to stream that because it's a very important match for us to have on the broadcast. Obviously, the winner of that match is going to be a very good spot, as those two guys are 1 and 2 right now in the Falcon group. And then we're going to have David Eldar and Weibin To at 1 a.m. GMT on Sunday, and then Matthew O'Connor and Tony Sim right after that, with both Eldar and Weibin playing for a playoff spot. Winner goes on, loser goes home. And Matthew O'Connor also competing for a spot in the playoffs. So a lot of very important matches coming up. Really can't wait to see these final matches in this weekend and find out who's going on and who's going home. A lot still to be determined. So congrats to Jesse and Janul on advancing, and we'll have plenty more matches throughout the weekend. Come back tomorrow night for Dave Wiegand versus Andrew Fisher. It's going to be a banger, no doubt. Can't wait for that. In the meantime, I'm going to toss a raid in the direction of a friend of the program, CL Smith, and we can send some viewers his way. I'll probably be playing some chess or whatnot, and you guys can watch that. I can go log off, have some tasty dinner, and we will call it a night. We'll see you back here tomorrow night for Dave Wiegand and Andrew Fisher. Cannot wait for that. Going to be a banger. Going to be fun. I will see you then. Until then, I'm Evans Clinchy, and you guys have a nice evening.